Okay. It is thinking. Now we're live. Hello, John.
Kelly,
Happy New
hello.
Year.
I want to mute my phone so these freaking
Oh,
notifications don't go up. Probably should have done that before
that's a
we
good
went live.
idea.
There we go.
Okay,
I'm doing
great.
good, Kelly. New year, new things.
Hmm.
Could we have come up with a more generic title for this live stream? I don't think so.
Possibly. I
You
can
probably
try.
could have.
You want me to take some time to do that now?
Yeah, let's think
Bye.
about this.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm joking. You don't have to do that. Um,
Yeah. How's it going? How is life? How's it going?
it's going good. I learned, I think, how to ski over the last
Ooh.
week, and it was pretty cool. The thrill of it is like getting over your fear because you're picking up
Uh,
so much speed and like wanting to like trying not to kill anybody, and it's freaking
oh my
horrifying.
God.
But like once you get it, you're like you feel so cool.
We're
So I'm
you
into
feel so
skiing now, I guess.
Wait, is that the first time you've skied?
It's like the second, but this is the first time that I actually like felt like I could control myself and not just pick up a ton of speed and crash into something to stop.
Okay. How long has it been since you skied? How old were you the first time?
39. It was like a year
Okay.
ago.
Okay. Okay. I can I tell you my skiing story? I think
Of
it's
course.
appropriate or it's like related to building online.
Oh, tying
Sort
it
of.
back already. All
I'll
right.
tie it back. It's not really that related, but I'll tie it back. So I went skiing for the first time when I was like 22, maybe. I was in grad school and my church was going on this ski trip. And so I didn't have any money because I was like a poor, poor student. And someone from my like singles group at the church paid for me to go on this trip anonymously. So I went or I was going to go, but I wasn't going to ski. But someone paid for me to be able to ski. Right. So I skied that first day, and I'm telling you, I was like fearless. I didn't fall the whole day. I just was like, just
What?
like right down the mountain.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. And then I never went again. Okay. So for 20 years, I was like, I'm an amazing skier. I mean, I haven't been in 20 years, but I am so good at skiing. I skied a second day on that same ski trip and I was even better. I literally didn't fall the whole time. And I just started going down like bigger and bigger hills and whatever. Everybody in the group was like, Kelly's incredible. Right. Okay. So fast forward to last year or the year before, Jeremy and I went on this ski trip with a bunch of people, and turns out all of them were like very good skiers. And I've been like talking myself up to Jeremy, not to these people, but I was like, I'm just going to be so good at this. I forget Jeremy's Canadian. Like he can ski. He's like snowboarded every weekend of his life for like his whole coming up, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. Anyway, I get on these skis and I'm instantly just terrified, terrified. And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I took some lessons, like private lessons from this, ski guy, and I couldn't stop crying. I like get to the top of a mountain and I'm just like sobbing. And then I'm the adult who's holding on this, you know how they do like with little kids where they'll hold a pole and
The
you hold
pole,
on
yeah.
to the pole and then they just pull you side to side down the mountain. That was me. It was, I, I have never been so scared in my life.
What
And
changed?
I think
I'm
it's
sorry, finish the story. I
just,
have so many questions.
well, then, okay. So I get down the hill, it's okay, I'm okay, and then over the next, like, few days, I actually got very comfortable, and then I got pretty good at it, and then, I was, like, confident, and I did a few runs with Jeremy on his snowboard on, like, a middle range, hill or whatever, and I, like, felt really confident by the end of it. So the reason I think it's related to what do you call it? Like building online is that like when you first start something, when you first try something and you feel some success and you just think you are good at that thing, it's just classic, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
amazing, right? And then like later down the road, once you're like older and wiser, you realize like how easily you can screw something up. Like in my mind, I was just going to fly off the mountain at any second and just like die. Just die, right? I'm so aware of my, I don't know if this is age, it's got to be like, I'm so aware of like injuring myself that I don't do a lot of physical things. I won't ride like on a motorbike or, motorcycle or something like that. I'm just scared of stuff.
But that wasn't a fear like before when you were younger?
Yeah,
Like you're
I
just
was
like,
22.
whatever?
Yeah, you think you're never going to die. You just
Yeah.
kind of like, I think that's really common. Was that common for you? Are you
Uh,
scarier now
uh,
than you were when you were a kid?
I'm more cautious, I would say. It doesn't really stop me from doing anything, but I'm definitely like, will take more precautions. Like I wear a helmet now. I would have never worn a helmet when I was in my
Yeah.
20s or when I
Yeah.
even, even young. But like definitely like, okay, this could like I look to like what could happen a little bit more than I did when I was younger. But
Yeah.
I'm amazed that like you stood up on skis and instantly did not fall. I fucking fell down this mountain for like 3 hours. It was so embarrassing. I'm just like, all right, okay, I'll go
Nope.
5 feet, fall again, 5 feet, fall again. Like you just like got it the first time.
Just got it. Just got it. I was like, wiggly knees, just like go with it. I don't know. Somehow it just worked.
That's
Yeah.
amazing to me. That's amazing. I had no concept of
Amazing to
like
me.
how to do this.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, you have like you go side and side and side, and then like you do the little pizza to none of that. I just like straight down, just like parallel skis straight down the mountain.
That's
I
just
was
straight no fear. That's just
no
no
fear,
fear.
no fear.
Yeah.
People must have been like, what an idiot. Like, I'm sure I was very dangerous, but I just seemed to be able to like go, I don't know, wild. I can't understand it even now, but anyway.
Okay. I have a lot for you to react to and
Okay.
like stuff that we've changed since we last spoke. Do you want to start with that? Or I feel like you had
Yeah.
a few things that you wanted to go with. All right. Let's kick it off with well, okay. I got two things I want to show you actually. I got so to set this up, what we did the last time we live streamed was I'm building an app right now, and Kelly is reacting to the experience that I'm creating, giving her thoughts on it, design thoughts, what she understands, whatever. And the feedback that I got was very actionable and very like good. So I want to see if I understood. And Kelly, I don't expect you to remember what you saw the last time because like it
Okay.
was a while ago.
Yeah.
But I want to see if like does this kind of like line up with what you suggested to me.
Cool. I remember.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
stop talking and just tell me what to click on and give me your thoughts.
All right. I'm going to make this big for myself. Okay. So, birthday home, book a session. And this is meant to be a phone view.
This is
Right.
all mobile. Yeah, just pay attention to this. Ignore the Chrome developer tools that you see on the
Yeah.
right here. This is a
Okay.
mobile app.
Okay. Your place to build resilience, clarity, and long-term well-being. Book a session, enter the gym. At this point, do they know what the gym is?
They would okay, that's a good question. We've had a few touch points before we've gotten to this point. This is what it looks like inside the app. But there is a welcome email, almost like a marketing campaign that they would have had to it would have had to pique their interest enough for them to like activate their account and get to this point. So there is a
Okay.
little bit of context before they've gotten here.
Okay. Yeah. If they know what the gym is, this feels clear. I would assume you want them to. Okay, so those first two buttons, book a session, enter gym. My question for you as the builder is like, what's the one you want them to do? Is there one that's like the priority?
Mhm.
And if so, I would put that on the right. My guess from the color, from the styling of the buttons is that it's the one on the right. I'm sorry, the one on the left, the book a session stands out more to me as like just the color of it is more.
But it's in the wrong spot.
It's in the wrong spot. I would switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put that
Gotcha.
to the right. The and then reps, upcoming sessions, past sessions, recent reps. Okay, and then if you hover over those, now we'll be on a phone, so hover effect is pointless.
No
That makes
hover
sense.
effect, but my hope is that these look like buttons that you can click.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels clear to me. Okay, so yeah. All right, click on the upcoming sessions one.
Upcoming sessions.
Okay, great. Okay, so first reaction is the two icons on the right.
Yep.
Unsure of what they mean. I'm guessing the red one means cancel the session.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. The one on the right, the green one, I don't know what that means unless it's like add it to my like Google Calendar or something like that.
Interesting. Okay, I actually forgot what it means. I think it means reschedule.
Ah, I would never guess that. Never.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted to
reschedule.
reschedule, I would expect like maybe like a gear icon or something like that. So that icon is confusing to me. Also,
Okay.
if you have two icons on the right, those are really spaced out from each other. So I would sort of, and it is important that they're spaced out enough that you don't accidentally touch the wrong one.
That's exactly, and it actually
Yeah.
was based on your feedback from last time because you're like,
Yeah.
I get anxious when I don't feel like I have the right hit radius on the
Yeah.
button. So I'm like, let me space this out a little. But I agree, it looks weird here now. It's
It looks
like,
weird. Yeah.
which is the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thursday, 1:15, 6:45 a.m. Yeah. Okay. So, and then the second one, you have different styling. Okay. So, past upcoming sessions and past sessions, if I'm looking at those two tables, there's more padding on this second one. You see that? Like they're not aligned. And yeah. Does that make sense what I'm
Got
saying?
you. Yeah, yeah. The like this doesn't line
Yep.
up. I got you. Yep.
Yeah. It's a
Understood.
small thing that's non-functional, but that feels like um it is a professional little thing that kind of ticks away at or chips away at like the professionalism of the app when things aren't aligned, if that makes sense.
Understood.
Yeah.
When in doubt,
Here's
left
another thing.
align.
Yeah, question.
Yeah.
If I just tap on the upcoming session, that first one, if I tap on like say the date, does anything happen? Is it going to take me
No.
somewhere? No. Okay. All right. If it were going to, well, how do you enter that session?
Someone just calls you.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. It's kind
And
of
there's
it's
no
it
other
expands it.
information about it, like what you want to work on or what, like it's just date time. That's it.
No, but that is a great piece of feedback you just gave me. Like, what is it that we're going to discuss in this session?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, there you
Yeah.
go.
The reason why I'm asking is because I would assume I could tap on that and it would open that event and give me some information about like how do I get into it? Like is someone going to call me? Is there a Zoom link? Whatever, right? So I would assume that's clickable, but not because of the way it's designed, because of just when you think about a calendar event, you can always click on it and open. There's a pattern that exists in apps like not like this, but like where there are events that you can tap on the event to get more information. So I would tap on it. I would try to tap on it, but the styling of it doesn't look like it's tappable.
Okay. Would you like to know more? Exactly. Is like what you want to know more about what this session, what's going to
Yep.
happen here. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to stop right here because
Okay.
that is all I need in order to do more stuff with this. It's going to make it better.
Cool.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. I was going to actually show you something else, but that feels like way more important than what I was about to show you. So I'm going to leave it at that for now.
Okay.
All right, cool.
More of this. I love doing this stuff. It's so fun to just be like, here's what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. I know you love this. Like, okay, so here's what I'm going to put out there to anyone that's watching. We want to do this with more apps. Like if you're interested in getting feedback on something that you're building and not just the design necessarily, but just like, does it even make sense in what you're presenting? Kelly and I will do this here live. We had Nasir, I think 3 weeks ago or something like that, put out a bubble, actually, I think he vibe coded it, but it was 4 bubble apps to visualize their database. Like it was a mental, it was like a model of how to look at a database in Bubble, and we couldn't get it to load, which was a bummer. But I think like more of that will be interesting. So if you want us to like take a look at your stuff and say what we're understanding live for you, I mean, it's been very helpful for me. So I have to imagine that other people that are building things, that's going to be helpful. So
Yeah.
tell us
Cool.
what you want us to do.
Yeah. So like DM either of us, wherever you're watching, DM us on that platform and we'll take a look at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Comments, I guess, on YouTube. No one's watching on YouTube. No one watches my YouTube
I
channel.
don't look at the comments.
Definitely on LinkedIn. Like we could do, like, people are watching on LinkedIn, and those, I'm pretty sure those comments get saved to like the post. So
yeah,
we'll
I think
find
they
you
do.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
What's next on our list?
You had a couple things, Kelly. Why don't you run down your list?
Yeah. So I don't know. This is sort of just kind of a small thing, but it's also kind of feels like a really big thing at the same time. My husband and I, for the past several years, have done this like year-end review, right? With a friend. She hosts this like Zoom with all of her friends, and we just join it. And she didn't do it this year, so we did it on our own, just me and him. And I am not a person who's like, what? I don't do like this year I'm gonna, I'm not sort of like super gung ho about that. But there's one aspect of this little process that we do. Number one, it's fun. You get like your like hot chocolate and you sit there in front of the tree and you got your laptops open. It's real cozy. You got your like cozy socks on, right? It's a cozy kind of thing. Anyway, we do this part of it. It's a long thing. It's like many hours what we're doing. But the one thing that I find the most useful that I'm like, I don't know, just encourage people to do is you open up your calendar and you just look at every day and you make a list of stuff in each month that you were like working on, excited about, uh, things that happened, right? Maybe you like interviewed with a company, or maybe you like started this project that you actually didn't end up doing, but it was like in that time was like a big feature in your brain, right? Or you traveled somewhere and you forgot about it. So it's just like I don't know. I just find it really, really useful in some, I couldn't even pinpoint how it's useful.
Let me say it back to you. So you're sitting on a Zoom, because I want to make sure I get this. You're sitting on a Zoom meeting and you're looking back at your calendar for the last year and recalling things that you did in those months. Okay.
Yeah. Now the Zoom part of it is just like she sort of guides you in it. And then there's like 10 minutes of she puts on some music and you just do it on your own computer. You're not like showing anyone your calendar or anything like that. You're just kind of typing out your list or whatever. And then there's
you're
some
remembering
sharing.
these things that happened, or you're like looking at your calendar like, oh
My
yeah, I had like
calendar.
this meeting from that in that day or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And
like
like
reflective.
it's reflective. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I totally forgot that at the beginning of 2025 in like January, February, I like ran a Bubble freelancer course. It secretly, I didn't talk about this at all, but it just had like 2 people in it. And I walked them through this whole curriculum. It was like 2 months of my life I spent doing this, and I completely forgot about it. And it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
don't remember you doing that either.
it was like a great experience. It worked for the people that I did it for, but I couldn't figure out a way to make it work financially for me. So I just kind of would put it over there, and I was like, maybe someday, but probably not. Anyway, I did that thing and I put so much work into it and totally forgot that I had done this thing.
Uh,
So anyway, I don't know. I just find it really useful. And I think it's like fun. It's like a fun exercise. And then it's framed with a lot of like what worked and what didn't work and why didn't it work and what are the takeaways from the things that happened this year. What are there like patterns or I don't know, like consistent things that you can kind of take away from it. I think it's a little different when you have like a job because there's less variation. I get. I might be wrong. You tell me, right? Like if you were to look at your calendar, I have all these different clients and different like projects that I've sort of launched or whatever. And I don't know if you would have like the same level of stuff if that makes
I
sense.
don't even know that I'd look at it from like a professional perspective. I do this for like myself for like what did I do last year like as a
Mm.
person, not
Mm.
necessarily like job related. The job thing it would still reveal some things like, oh look, yeah, we thought that was important last year. That's not important
Yeah.
anymore. You know, like I think that would be kind of interesting to see. But I would first do this for like my own personal life and then think to
Mm.
do it for like my professional one. But this
Yeah.
is way more interesting to me than like a New Year's resolution or a
Oh,
goal that I want to set for myself. I hate New Year's goals because why do I hate them? I've been trying to figure that out. I don't really understand what we think is going to change because the earth went around the sun. Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
what difference does that make to me and how I live my life? It doesn't. It's just like
No.
a mental reset of like, oh, I'm gonna start doing
Yeah.
this thing now, you know, for like a
Yeah.
month.
It's just an opportunity to reflect and, and like decide to make a change at a point. I'm with you. Like, I don't really do that. In fact, the future looking part of this whole exercise, I just kind of don't really care about. But
Yeah.
the looking back thing is like this year, I did so many things because people asked me to that did not benefit me in any way and actually were
Whoa.
detrimental. Yeah.
Say more about that.
Well, those were the personal things. Like,
Oh, okay.
the
Never
other
mind.
aspect of this, no, it's okay. The other aspect of this is, like, there's everything is two-sided, like, the things that didn't benefit me, I also really enjoyed, and I'm so happy I did them, right? If that makes sense. So, like, my friend Stephanie, she came with her wife to Barcelona, and then they wanted me to go to Disney. We've talked about me going to Disney, Paris, and I just should not have done that. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't have couldn't afford the time off from work. I don't really care about Disney. Like, it was not something I would have done or that yeah, but I'm glad I did it. It was fun, but I shouldn't have done it in hindsight, like yeah. So, like, things like that, right? Or, like, my sister
Okay.
turned 50, and I flew back to the United States to go to her birthday trip. Our family took a little trip, right? And, like, I'm so glad I went on that trip. I'm so glad, and, again, it was expensive, like, I can't afford to just fly across the world for someone's birthday. Do you know what I mean? It was my
Eh,
sister, so, like but I have 3 sisters. Am I gonna do that, for all of their yeah. So, anyway, it was, like, a lot of that this year that I look at it and I go, "Wow, I probably the responsible thing to do would be to default to no, and then if I can do that thing and justify it, then, I say yes, right? But my default is yes, always, to everything." So,
oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. So and did you realize all that because you did the calendar
Yeah.
thing? You
Mhm.
did. Okay. See,
Mhm.
there's something to that. I really do think that I'm gonna do this now. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
do this
So
because
fun.
I think that actually like will help
Yep.
what I
Do it
do
with
next
your
without
lady.
even
Here's the thing, if you have a partner, it's also, like, cool to you talk about why you did things, and then you can kinda understand each other's choices a little bit better, you
uh-huh.
know? I don't know, it's fun. It's fun.
Okay. I'm in. I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
sold on this. I'm gonna try it.
Cool. Yeah. Right, next thing was about sorry, I have a light here that's, like, really intense. There we go. There we go. Um, I tried Framer for the first time. Or I'm currently learning Framer. Um, that's my sort of next topic. Did you have something else?
No, no. I want to talk about some new tools that you were mentioned that you were using. Framer was one of them. I've never used Framer. I've used Radian a little bit,
Mhm.
but I want to hear about your experience on Framer.
Yeah, so I'm helping my husband on a project for his business that's like web design stuff, and I haven't done that in a while. I was like a Webflow person before I found Bubble. And since then Framer's come up and it's funny because like I've worked in Webflow a tiny bit through my Bubble career, just like for clients, just reconnecting or connecting Webflow to Bubble and stuff like that. And every time I open it, I'm like, oh, hate this, you know? I don't miss it at all. And so when Framer started to come up and people were like replacing their Webflow stuff with Framer stuff, I was like, okay, interesting. I'll check it out. Um, and so I had this small project that I'm doing for him, and we decided to build it on Framer. And I opened up Framer and I was like, don't know what to do. don't know how to don't know how if it's similar to Bubble in the structure of it, or if it's based on some other sort of framework, design framework, or what. So I just watched the Framer like basic tutorials on YouTube, free stuff, right? And so I have not built anything yet. This is me just consuming some content in order to sort of get up to speed and know how to do stuff. And I'll say, number one, Framer's education is very good. I think it's quite good. Like, it's concise. It doesn't complicate things. It's very sort of like, it sort of scratches the surface and you can go deeper in, which like, I don't know, like I consume a lot of education and I think some of it is just done so poorly. And I was like, okay, this is great. It's not trying to be entertaining. Like Webflows has always been entertaining. And so it's a pleasure
Yeah, I
to
noticed
watch.
that. They're
Yeah,
like the videos are funny,
they're funny. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Framer doesn't have any of that. It's pretty straightforward. The guy who does the education is like perfectly charming. There's nothing to say about him. But it's not meant to be. It's like practical, right? So I really appreciated that it truly was a primer. It was like all the information you need. What it gave me was not exactly like it did give you like how to do specific things, but what it did for me is just go for me to go like, oh, I can do that, right? If I'm going to build something, this is an option that I have. I'm able to sort of, hey, Lucas, hi, Lucas. Thank you. Lucas, I guess, works in Framer. Lucas is a designer and a Bubble developer in Brazil. Yeah,
Hey,
he's
Lucas.
awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you, Lucas. That's amazing. Thank you. But yeah, it kind of was like you go to the Framer. The first thing I did when I was starting on this project is I went to the Framer like gallery, kind of like inspiration gallery, and you look at it and everything is beautiful and everything has like these incredible animations, and it's like you can drag stuff around on the screen, and it's just very almost just overwhelming that you look at it and you go, well, I probably couldn't do that with this tool, or like that's surely built by like some expert, framer, whatever. And then you watch the tutorials and you're like, oh, that's how they did that really impressive thing. It's just a feature that you turn on in Framer or you add to that element or whatever. So it just kind of demystified it, the process, right? So now I feel like I know what I can like design and I know where to go to find the information on how to do it. I don't know if you have this where like as a non-designer, when you want to build something, you're kind of like, okay, I'd like to build that fancy thing, but I am just limited. So I'm just going to build like the most basic thing. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I have that in Bubble all the time, where it's just like,
Yeah.
what's the easiest way to deliver this functionality with very little thought to the experience of it.
Yeah.
So like, like that's an area that I definitely it comes to me a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, but like, okay, I have like some questions on like, so do you think that most people came to Framer because like they were sick of like, do you think that most people had that journey? Like, all right, Webflow. Like,
Mm.
why go to Framer if you've got Webflow? Is it easier to use? Like, what was the
I
decision?
watching it, I was like, okay, number one, Webflow, I have not used in like 5 years. So maybe it's totally different now. But when I left Webflow for Bubble, the animations piece of Webflow, which was sort of the sell, that was like the hot kind of sexy thing about it, was like you could do these really cool animations. They were hard to build. They were like really tricky. The UX for that feature was really difficult. And for me anyway, I don't know. And it would always break. Like you'd build an animation and then like 2 months later you look at that client website that you built and like half the animations just like do something weird, you know?
Yeah.
It's very strange. And so this in Framer, how the animations work is more integrated into the rest of the UI. So Webflow, it was like a separate UI kind of thing. Like it was a separate panel, separate settings, and it was sort of opaque, I guess. But Framer, it's just kind of integrated into the rest of it. And the UX is so good. It's like clear what it's like what you're clicking on is going to do. If that makes sense. So
Gotcha.
I find it to be much easier,
Are
having
the
not actually
comments
used
looking
it.
are the comments looking weird to you today? I'm trying to see. Chris is saying something. What's up, Chris? But I'm not
Absolutely
sure
fine.
if like I can't like it looks like his is overlaying another like the previous comment that we got.
Oh, I don't see that.
Weird. So
I
you
just
see
see
two
Lucas
comments on your side?
I see Lucas and then Christopher.
Wow, it's
They're
weird.
not
Okay.
overlapping or anything. Okay. Yes, Lucas says Webflow relies heavily on a CSS structure. Framer's more like Figma. Yeah, I don't know what the tech is underneath it, but you're right. Like Webflow it's an abstraction of CSS, is my understanding. That like you're editing all of these like text size, whatever, and it's just creating code in the background. And you can export the code from Webflow to WordPress. I've done that before, and it's just straight up code on the page, right? It doesn't have the technical mess that, or mess is the wrong word, but that like bubble comes with. You can't just extract the code because it would be all weird, right? Webflow's cleaner. That's another sell for it. I don't know about Framer. I'm not sure. But like for the project I'm working on, it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep it in Framer. So,
But you liked the way that the see, I think the issue that I always run into when I'm trying a new tool is like I don't know, and I could see a body of like videos that are there to help you get through it. When and why you watch those videos is the part that I always like
yeah.
struggle with because I'm like I want to hit the wall first before I like, maybe an intro video or whatever. But I want to
Mm,
hit a wall first before I start like look. And then I'm looking for a very specific thing to fix.
yeah.
And like I have to watch a whole bunch of videos that don't answer that directly, right? So like
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell you on this project, I was like, I can't spend a ton of time on this project, right? This needs to be like a pretty quick, kind of easy thing to just like get done, right? And so I opened it up and I was like, there's a learning curve here. I'll be able to figure it out, right? But I just want to like jumpstart it, right? So I watched one like Framer in 20 minutes, one of those super overview things where it's like, this panel is for this panel is for this, whatever. It wasn't a course at all. And from there, I was like, okay, I understand this is very similar to Bubble. This is similar to Webflow. I can figure those things out. So I was skipping it through a lot. I probably watched half of it. And then at the end, I was like, but what I don't know about is this one portion of it, right? Like the CMS, right? Like where you store blog posts, basically your database, right? And so I watched another tiny one on that and I was like, okay, got that. That's clear. That feels very familiar to me. And then the animations part of it, which I knew from Webflow was hard, I found the Framer it was like 18 videos. And I literally watched it while I was like doing dishes. I wasn't doing any of it alongside. It didn't open up Framer and do it with it. And I put it on like double speed. I just wanted to get an overview of the information,
gotcha.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's probably the way to
normally,
do it.
yeah. And like Jeremy was watching it with me. He was like, oh, cool. It gave him ideas of what we could do with, certain aspects of the project that we're doing. Yeah, it was cool.
That sounds fun.
It
Okay,
was
so
fun.
Framer for like I guess like if I'm thinking of like how to use it, if I wanted to spin up like a quick web, I can't do anything quick in Webflow. I don't have that like background in
Mhm,
Webflow, so everything
mhm,
takes really long for me. I can figure it
yeah,
out, but it's like it's I'm not proficient.
yeah.
Framer, you're saying is like a better like
I think
way.
so. I mean, so my memory of Webflow was like for some reason, naming conventions were really important and difficult. And like there wasn't a standard naming convention. And it would make your projects really like easy to break. And I honestly, like I'm saying that and I can't even remember what I couldn't articulate that better. Right. But I also remember like handing off a project to this one client that they were like, okay, now we're going to bring it in house. And I was like, I wish I would have known that before I did this project for you, because y'all are going to fuck it up. It was like complicated enough of a build that like you move something on accident, you're just going to break some things on the page, right?
Okay.
And so it was complex enough. I don't know about Framer yet, you know, we'll see as I start building in it, but it seems just simpler, but just as like powerful in terms of what kind of like website you can build. Yeah.
I wanna go back to something you brought up before. I wanna know more about the bubble, the freelancing course that you did. I know you said it was only
Mm.
for two people, and like, but you said you really enjoyed it, one.
Yeah.
And like, I'm curious about the curriculum that you taught around that. Like,
Mm.
how did you show someone how to do
Yeah.
freelancing?
Oh my God. It's been almost a year. So it was around, if I'm remembering right, there was like 4 or 5 sort of, um, oh man, let me see if I can find it.
So
See
this
if I
is
can.
interesting to me for a few reasons. My sister just started up her own practice. She's a psychologist, and she started up her
Mhm.
own practice. And within like 3 months, she has a full roster of clients. And she figured out her website, her marketing, like all of it. And she did it in such a short amount of time. And I'm
Mm.
like, damn. And I told her this. I'm like, this took me so long to get to the point where you are right now. It took me like 2 years to get to
Yeah.
accomplish what you did in 3 months. She's already like replaced the income from her previous job with this thing. And I'm like,
Wow.
are you just like a prodigy at this kind of thing? And when I realized like she is good. She's better than me in a lot of areas. But I think the thing that she nailed that I never nailed was what her service is. She was so
Oh yeah.
specific about what her service was, and she knew exactly the demand for it and the people that were going to pay her for it. And then she
Mm.
just hyper focused on them. So I think that's why she was able to do it so fast. But like in this software thing, it is not that clear. It's not clear,
Mhm.
and you're also competing with sites like Upwork
Yeah.
and the other big one, not Dribble, whatever.
I
But
can't remember. Yeah.
it's a much more competitive landscape. First off, I didn't have in my mind who exactly I was serving and what I was giving to them, so it was
Mhm.
more like a figure it out kind of thing. And I'll get a little bit more specific as I go, which took more time. So like I'm
Yeah.
curious on how your course would have sped that up for me a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how could I have thought about that and got to her position in a faster time
Okay.
frame?
Well, I'll share the structure of it. I'm going to share my screen. Uh, okay. So this is the sort of intro thing, and this was the structure of the course, right? So this was, I want to say it was like 8 weeks, and we met 3 times a week. Tuesdays, there was some homework, and then I would present something and we would talk and do some exercises. Wednesday was about, I think, was also about the stuff that we had talked about on Tuesday. And then Thursday was like technical stuff where you would like share something you're building and the group would talk about how we would do it or whatever, right?
And who's
Okay, so that,
coming into these sessions? Are these people that are already like building things and they want to
yes. Yeah.
sidestep into freelancing? Okay.
Well, they were people who were bubblers who had some experience, like maybe at least 6 months of professional experience building for other people, and were trying to go like full-time freelance or make more as a freelancer, right? So they
Okay.
weren't brand new bubblers. There was no like, here's how to bubble. It was not, the technical review was like a space for you to kind of get feedback more than it was like any teaching at all. This was strictly sort of about um yeah, the career part, right?
This isn't a bubble
So
boot camp.
no, not at all. Not at all. Not
Yeah.
at all. Okay, so the I want to say this was like this is organized by session. I think it is. So first session was around like what you want your career to look like, what's your background, your history as a builder, what do you want, right? Your sort of personality, and then your values, right? And just kind of looking at like who you are in the space that you're trying to be in. Okay. And then we went into where you fit. This to me was like the most fun to think about, was where you fit right now, and then building toward where you want to go. Right. So I would love to get your thoughts on this. We could do a whole session on this because I'm not sure this is right. But
Okay.
basically it was like, where are you? These are what I think of as like the 4 different levels of being a bubble developer, right? Executor, well, anyway, let's go through these one. I want to get your feedback on it. But basically, like the idea is to move up this scale. And in order to actually like command high fees and like get great clients, you need to be up here in like maestro or like high craftsman. Okay. Essentially, basically, a maestro is able to kind of like command the whole thing. They can sort of, clients can trust them with the future of their app in a way, right? Whereas an executor is just going to take orders, do a thing, right? So it sort of was about like being honest with yourself about where you fit right now, and then like where you want to go. Niching, like, do you niche by industry, or do you niche by, let's see, industry, skill, type of project, stage of business, type of
Ooh,
business?
very smart. Industry,
Yeah.
skill, type of project, stage of business, type of business. Damn, that's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
No one teaches you that.
I know,
Kelly
right?
did.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah. So like for me, I think this was, let's see, oh, combining niches, right? So like for me, I combine design and refactoring as my like the skill. And then I only work on existing apps, and the stage of the business is higher than V1. So the way I write the copy on my website is touches on all of these things so that whoever comes to my website knows that they are suited to my,
This is for
my
me,
skills.
or she is for me.
Yeah.
Like they should think that when they get to your website, right? Like, oh, this is
Yeah.
like exactly all my pain points right now, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. This was a really fun one, the right clients. So I have this grid, right? These are all the ways that you can align with a client, right? Technical needs, industry knowledge, vibe, budget, timeline, a bunch of different stuff, right? And this is how I think about like whether I want to take a project or not. How much do I align with these things, right? Or am I misaligned with anything? So I create rules for myself. I will not compromise on, for example, these things. I can compromise on these things. I'd rather them be an alignment, or I just like don't care at all about these things, right?
You're
So one of
making
the
me rethink my hatred of coursework right now. I would have loved to have been in this course.
ah, oh man, God, it was so fun to teach. It was so, so fun. And I learned a lot. When you like write something and you figure out what you believe by writing it, or what you think
Mhm.
about something by writing about it. That's what this was for me. I was like, anyway, it was super fun. So the assignment was to fill out this table for yourself, right? Like what are those things that you will compromise on and not? Anyway, it was stuff like that. Then there was more sort of like, okay, now that you've figured out like what you want, what your background is, where you need to go, like how do you move upward, right? This was about like, what's your plan, right? What do you need in order to get from like here up to here, right? And making a list for yourself of like, these are the things that I need to get done. I had this whole like, what are my skills right now? What am I going to do in order to up those skills? How much time is that going to cost me? Do I need to take a course? Is there money involved in this whole kind of thing? It was some planning, right? And that would be, the idea wasn't that at the end of the course you're making like 6 figures, right? It was like, I have a plan. I know where I'm going. And then, so that was the first 4 weeks was the planning. And then the second 4 weeks was like executing on that plan, right? One of
So,
my
and
favorite,
you
go
said,
ahead.
how long was this course? Over
It was 8
what,
weeks
how many weeks?
altogether.
8
Yeah, 8
weeks.
weeks. Yeah.
And you met 3 times a week, was
Mhm.
it? 3
Mhm.
times a
In
week.
the
Okay,
first
so
4
that's pretty
weeks,
intense.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of time. which is why I couldn't do it again. I was like, who's going to pay for this? Like the people who were in it paid $800 to be in it. And that's a significant investment in something. And you couldn't do that if you live in a country where that's like a year's income in some countries, right? You just can't pay that. But I don't live in that financial or economic setup. So I need to
Yep.
make more. I just couldn't figure out how to, I don't know. I
Understood.
would love to teach this again, but my favorite part of this was about two things. One was about like, why do people get hired? Like what makes you hire someone, and thinking about like these three things. People hire a freelancer because one of these reasons, right? They're cheap, they're better, or I know them. And so picking which one you want to be in here, you don't want to be the cheap one, obviously. You're not going to make a lot of money that way. But like, can I be the better
Most
one?
people fall into that. I think the
I
majority
know.
of people fall into that, I'm going to be the cheap one. I did at one point until I realized that wasn't the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everyone starts there though. Like everyone starts like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just do it cheaper than everyone so I can get some, some clients under my belt.
And that may be what you have to do in the beginning, right? You can't be the better one on your first day,
Yep.
I mean, yeah. And then the other one, like there's so many fun things in here, but the sales call, this is like what? I'm very good at sales calls. I will, if I can get on the sales call, I win the gig, unless their budget's like doesn't work, right? But this was about sort of like how to structure what to actually talk about on the call, what the agenda should be, how to talk about these things. Yeah, it was real fun. Anyway, I don't want to give away all my secrets, so I will stop.
All right. I mean, there was. I think you wanted to talk through what time? I think you wanted to talk through the like the levels, how the different levels there.
Yeah.
That
do you want to? You have time for that?
Yeah. Let's do a bit on that. I want to see if I have anything to say about that.
Okay. Cool.
The mountain thing was a cool visual to even conceptualize like where you are in your skill level. It's more of like where you are in your skill level as a dev, right? And your ability to take on like development work, rather than like how good of a freelancer you are.
No.
Like being a business, right? So it's a small component of the freelancing thing that you need to think about, right? Like how good of a developer am I really? And I think if you're honest with yourself about, which most people are not, I definitely wasn't for a while, then you're going to be trying to get the wrong clients, right? You're going to be you're going to be misaligned with the clients to your slide on, are you aligned or not?
That's right.
So wait, so the bottom of that was the executor, right?
Yeah, executor. Yeah. Okay. So here's what this is. I'll just talk you through it, right? So you're like happy you get paid to do work that you like, right? You do what the client requests and you're cheap. Essentially, that's what being an executor to me is. The next step up, the technician, is going to be about like you have a higher level of skill on the platform that you're working on, right? You care about doing good work, and you can do it quickly, efficiently, that kind of thing, right? You're good at the technical aspect of it. Being a craftsman is that you have this level of skill at least, right? But you also are thinking about how you build, not just like that you build it, right? You think about like the cleanness of your code, the ability for other developers to take on your project and be able to figure out what's going on. UX is important to you. And yeah, so that's craftsman. And then the top one, maestro, there's 2 slides for this one. There's like a lot, right? Technically superior. You're not just a technician, you're like very, very good, right? And then it's a lot about sort of like your countenance, right? You're calm, you know how to manage a project, you know how to deal with clients. You know that like when you're faced with something, you can figure it out. You're curious about sort of like how you might learn that thing. And you know that you can, right? There's some wisdom because you have done significant work and you can apply that wisdom to the projects. And that's not just about building, right? That's about like you've seen into a number of different types of businesses and you can speak to like the life cycle of a business, or even sort of the life cycle of like an entrepreneur. You can kind of bring all of that kind of broad wisdom and knowledge to the project and to your client discussions with your client, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Knowing that the okay, I actually had this conversation with somebody like to that point specifically this weekend, where so one of our friends was coming up, like they were trying to pitch this business idea, and she was like, and I was actually kind of interested in where she was going with it until she said, "Yeah, this should be easy."
Nope.
And that one sentence took me right out of the conversation. I was like, "Oh, that's where she is with this. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it's just an idea. No sense of like what this is actually going to take to, like
Yeah.
the effort that's going to be required to get this off the ground. Like as soon as someone says that to me, oh, this shouldn't be that hard, right? I'm like,
Right.
later.
Yeah.
Later. If that's the mentality you possess, you will stop at the first roadblock that you hit.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
That's true. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, you also have to have the wisdom to not say to a client, well, no, this isn't going to be successful, or no, like it's not going to be easy. Like you have to know how to frame that information and whether it's you who needs to deliver it, right? That's another aspect of the wisdom that I'm talking about here, is like you can know that and believe that about your client, and you can also still serve them in a way that is not going to take advantage of them, right? So
meet
that's a
them
part of
at
that.
meet them where they are kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and sort of help them move toward where they want to be without giving them false hope on you know what I mean? Like I have had clients where I've said, I don't think that you should do this. Like I think I would be taking advantage of you if you paid me to do this project.
Yeah.
And like it's easy for me to say that at that point because I had other work that I could do. That's a whole kind of other conversation, but like you can't really say that to someone if you don't have a good deal of experience to know that what they're doing is just not going to, like anyway. Anyway.
I always think of it. I kind of think I never evaluate. I mean, I do evaluate the idea. I wouldn't say, but I think I place more emphasis on where they are in
Yeah.
this phase. Like, am I gonna have the patience to sit with them through this journey of like, oh, we don't need every feature in the world here. Like, am I gonna be able to be patient enough to do that? And is it going to be financially worth it for me? I'm thinking back to freelancing now. Is it going to be financial? And the answer in a lot of cases, especially for the customer, the inbound leads that I was getting was no, right? And I think that's also why, like had I had higher quality leads, I maybe have stuck around a little bit longer. But
Yeah.
the patience that I realized, like that's one of my things. It's like the patience of it, the patience of
Mm,
working with somebody to kind of get them through this thing. I think that's maestro level, right? You got to be very
yeah.
patient with people, right? And I was
Yeah.
not there. I was not there. I was probably in your hierarchy. I was probably somewhere between what was the third one?
Technician. No.
I,
Craftsman.
I think I
Uh,
was somewhere between the technician and the craftsman. I never quite made it to maestro. I bailed before I could make it to maestro level. I think is the way that
yeah.
I would look at it.
Yeah, well, and if you came back into the freelance marketplace, I bet you would be because like the experience you're getting right now within the company that you work for is going to give you a lot of this stuff. Is already giving you a lot of this stuff, right? Like I think you
Agreed.
could probably be like so much more confident in a number of things than you were in the past. Don't you think?
Agreed. Yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
it's a completely different perspective because you really see what it takes to get a project, not
Mhm.
just the build, the project, the whole thing. Get
Yeah.
people on there, get them paying, all the little things that you can do. It's just there's so much to it that when someone says this is going to be easy, no matter how simple the idea is, it's comical. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this won't. Nothing you do is going to be if you're trying to build something from the ground, especially, is going to be easy. But like, yes, definitely perspective changing to even be lucky enough to have a job where I can see this kind of play out and be a part of it.
Yeah. I think I just realized no one could see my screen through all of that. Could you?
Oh, was Lucas saying things that whole time?
No, that was
Oh,
before I started
yeah.
sharing my screen.
Have you considered creating a video? He said, have you considered creating a video on something?
Yeah, I have considered it, but like even that's so much work. I don't know. Anyway, I will go through these. I'm not going to talk through these, but I'm just going to show my screen so that people can see if they couldn't see it before. I don't think we added it to the stage. So anyway, I'll just quickly click
Oh
on this.
no, I thought you were just talking to me the whole time.
Yeah,
we didn't
no,
see
I
any
was
of it.
sharing my screen through the whole
No,
thing.
no.
God,
We
what an
had no.
idiot. I'm not a maestro when it comes to screen sharing on a live stream. This was first maestro, second maestro. So if people are watching this on the replay, you can just pause it. Sorry. Anyway, so here's where you would want to be where I think you have to be in order to actually like have a consistent, successful, lucrative career as a freelance developer, right? Especially a bubble developer, because what we do is so like multifaceted. It isn't just write that code for that feature, right? It's like so many things. So technically superior, you're an advisor to your clients. You're an elegant builder. And elegance is around like being able to hand off what you've built to someone else, and that it's an efficient way of building a flow, that you're not sort of like just grabbing shit and putting it in the app, right? You have a user mindset as you are building. You're thinking about the user's experience, not just the technical functionality of what you built. You know how to prioritize, and you can kind of like back to the advisor thing, you can say like, we should build this first and here's why, or, vice versa, right? We should wait on that thing. Thoughtful, curious, calm, wise, and that you have a reputation. I think this is not as important, the reputation part, but in order to sort of like become known by clients, I think you do have to have some kind of reputation in some way, right?
Right.
Yeah. So here was my problem with it. My problem with this was I think most people just kind of live here, right? Maybe they get to this the more work that they do, the technician bit, right? But if you care about this and you care about this, then I think you just automatically put yourself in the craftsman category because you care about these things, but you haven't actually achieved this yet, if that makes sense. So
yeah, that does.
Right? It's not necessarily like a linear thing. They kind of overlap a little bit. Certain things can kind of overlap. So I'm not sure that the pyramid, this is actually the right framework for this, but it was the closest I could get to sort of how I think
It's
about it.
interesting. I came to that same conclusion as you were going through what the maestro does. Can you go back to your maestro slide for a second?
Yeah.
I want to tell you what I was doing and what I wasn't doing. You're technically superior building one couple of areas. What's the other one? The second page here. Or maybe the third one. Okay. This is what I was saying. So technically superior. I mean, I guess that's relative, right? Compared to who? I was technically superior. Definitely, I was advising clients and not not just taking what they wanted. Elegant builder, I don't think I got there. User mindset, yes, definitely. Can prioritize, yes, definitely. Thoughtful, curious, quiet, yes. Reputation, no. I mean, within a small community,
Yeah.
I had a good reputation with like Neil, who would pass his clients to me.
Yeah.
So like I definitely like some of the I could convince myself easily that I'm a maestro when in a few of these areas, but I'm like I think the technical part of it, I was probably more of a technician, right? I was probably at the technician level.
Yeah, I think you're right, right? So here was the sort of next, because I anticipated that most people would see themselves as approaching maestro, or they'd be like, I'm probably a craftsman. I want to be confident, right? And so I'm going to just say that I'm that, right?
Yeah.
So there was a self audit, right? Let's see. It was about getting feedback from, sorry, I don't remember how to get feedback from others, direct and indirect. Yeah. So this was about like, yeah, you can ask someone for feedback as someone who knows, like actually knows you've worked with them, right? And this was primarily about like technical stuff. Like if I shared an app with you and said, "What do you think of how I've built this?" Right? But that person would need to be very honest with you, right? Um, and then there was indirect observation, like how do people respond when you show their work? Like, do you get hired? Do you get rehired? Do you get referrals? Those are indications of feedback from others. And then self audits. So there was that sort of spreadsheet, which I don't know if I was sharing my screen then. Have I been sharing? I don't even know if I shared my screen at all. Did you see any of this?
Oh yeah, we saw that.
You saw
You were
this.
sharing at that point.
Somehow I put
You
that up
stopped.
on the screen.
You stopped sharing and then shared, like when you started
Okay.
talking about we started talking about the different levels. You weren't sharing.
That's
But
when
we
I
saw
went.
all
Okay.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this was about like objective analysis and looking at each other's, or like looking at other people's work and seeing how you measure up to that, which I think this is the quickest and easiest, most informative way to understand your skills is seeing how other people build.
It's very hard to do. It's very
It
hard to
is.
be honest with yourself, especially if you're trying to put yourself out there as a professional
Yep.
freelance developer.
Yep.
It is difficult, and it's going to
Yep.
chip away at your confidence and your ego by doing this. Yes, but in the long run, I think this sets you up to be more successful because you understand where you fit in this
Yeah.
space. So like, yeah, anyone who's freelance. I mean, Kelly, I wish there was an autonomous version of this, like I don't know who said that in the chat there, but like,
Yeah.
I wish there was some kind of autonomous version of this for people. Not the whole course necessarily, but even just like, where am I? Like,
Yeah.
that would be cool. I feel like that should exist somewhere.
Interesting.
I don't know. Would people pay to do it? I don't know. I just think self-assessment is an interesting thing to,
Yeah.
to take seriously.
Interesting. Well, maybe I'll do something. I ain't got no work right now, so might as well do something. That's a little update.
We're at the bottom of the hour here, Kelly.
Yeah. Cool.
I think we gotta wrap up.
All right.
Thanks,
Well,
everyone.
here's the thing. I'll put this out to people. If there are people who are watching who would want that course I just talked through and would pay for it, will you DM me and I'll kind of rethink my thoughts on it.
Or some version of that course. It may not have
Yeah.
to be the 8-week thing 3 times a week, but like some version of what Kelly is putting out there, I think is, let her know. And the other side of that, I want to say it again, like if you want us to look at your applications and something that you're building for our opinion and understanding of what you're building, send us, DM one of us, because we're interested to start doing that stuff live.
Yep. All right. Happy New Year, John. Happy New Year, everybody watching.
Lucas did say that he'd be interested in a course like this one.
Yeah. I would love to have Lucas in there.
All right. Later, everybody.
Okay, bye.